Hi there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. Come right on in, my friends, and I hope you're continuing to enjoy this beautiful season. Is your house all kind of gussied up like this one? We enjoy it so much. Kind of lifts your spirit. You know, Christmas is kind of a, it's almost a line in the sand. And so as you gear up for whatever kind of activities you have, you're going to do it before Christmas or after Christmas. It's just so important that it's got a place on the calendar that kind of controls what you're doing, and I hope yours is good. You know what we're going to talk about today is when Christmas is different. Sometimes we have real regular memories about when we were children, and Christmas was usually just great. And then as life proceeds, sometimes Christmas can make you even sadder. And we're going to talk about that today. I remember my husband passed away in September. And that December, it took every bit of strength and willpower I had to get those decorations out, because I still had children at home. And but I was glad I did. I really was glad I did. And you might be going through that. It could be a sickness. Maybe somebody close to you passed away this year, and it just makes it Christmas a little bit different. Well, I have some friends here today that you know very well. I feel like they're brother and sister to me, and that's Carol and Jean Kent. And I called her, I think just a couple days ago, and I said, you know, Carol, there's so many people that might be struggling with Christmas this year, and if anybody knows about that, Carol and Jean do know. If you're not familiar with their story, they have a son in prison for life. They say no possibility of parole. I say God can perform miracles, but that's another subject. And so they kind of changed things to come over to talk to you and tell you, encourage you in case you're having one of those Christmases that is not quite the same, not what you were really looking forward to. So I'm so glad they're here. And I'm going to join Stephanie making lemon snowflake cookies, and I don't want to give anything away, but you're really going to want this recipe. I believe that with all my heart. Before I join her, though, let me again remind you that we are offering you a wonderful, wonderful little book for Christmas, and it's got carols in it, it's got activities. It's just something that you'll want to use every single year. So for your gift of at least $20 to the program, we'll send you Our Family Christmas, and something that can really begin some great traditions. This is something you want to get out every single year. And so use the 800 number if you use a credit card or a debit card, or use the address on the screen if you want to send a check. And we'll be glad to get it out to you. Maybe you should do it sooner rather than later, but we'll get it to you. Hello.
Hello.
Just 1 minute, I got to show off my Santa marching band. La la. Aren't they the cutest things? This is called Santa's Marching Band. And Wanda went online. She saw, I've had it for 10 or 12 years, but this thing has probably 25 songs programmed into it, even the Hallelujah chorus.
And it can be yours for that special no, I'm just kidding.
For $1,000. Well, I don't know. It makes me happy. So you want me to be happy, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, remember a few weeks ago, we did a recipe with 2 ingredients for biscuits, and it was whipping cream and Bisquick.
And they were delicious.
They were delicious.
They were not fluffy, but they were the tastiest biscuits.
And I kept saying, okay, it's only 2 ingredients, write it down. And we still got, I don't know how many requests for it, and a lot of good comments. Now, this is a little similar. What's in this?
They're so tasty. It's crazy how good they are. So I have a lemon cake mix. I have 1 egg, and I have a tub of Cool Whip. And I'm going to use pretty much the whole tub of Cool Whip. It calls for 2 1/4 cup Cool Whip, which is pretty much the whole tub. And I'm just going to mix this all together. It makes a really sticky batter. You drop the spoonful where'd my brain go? It just left into
It's our chemo brain.
I call it tamoxifen brain. Into the powdered sugar, and then you just put them on the pan in the round shape, and you put it in the oven, and then you have these beautiful cookies that taste so good when they come out of the oven.
And they're crinkly.
Yes, they're crinkly.
Like you see those
Like crackles, like crackle paint.
Now, these are weird ingredients.
These are weird. This is one of those ingredients that the woman was in the kitchen. She said, "This is what I have. Let's see what happens." Yep, so that's it. So it doesn't call for you to spray the pan, but we found that they stuck just a little bit to our pan, so we are spraying it.
And we kind of just tried these this morning, and Stephanie has already made the decision to try it with chocolate.
Yeah, because I'm doing a cookie exchange this weekend. You could do this with any. I have many different flavored cakes at home. So we'll just have to see how many I come up with, because they all will be good. I think I could go
for the chocolate. Also, especially with the chocolate, at Christmas time, you could kind of decorate it with a Christmas theme.
Sure. Yummy.
It's very thick, sticky.
It's a sticky mess, but
I want to meet the person who came up with this.
Right here, bam, right here. Well, yeah, I'm telling you, it was a mom. It was a mom.
Are you all ready for Christmas? You started decorating in October, didn't you?
I'm not ready.
Oh, you're not?
No, it's been a tough year, Arthelene Rippy.
Yeah, I know. You said you're not going to do a whole lot of gifts this year.
Well, that, and we found a dog in the woods. Okay, my husband found a dog in the woods, and he brought him home. So, and he's probably a year old, so we're in the training phase, and if I put my Christmas village out, I will come home to my Christmas village shattered all over the ground. So, in order for the puppy to stay alive, I am not going to put my Christmas village out this year.
Her husband called her from the campground, didn't he?
He said, "I found a dog. It's been abandoned. It was so skinny, full of ticks." I'm like, "Fine, bring it home. We'll figure it out."
I really admire you for that. I might have said, "Are you nuts?"
No, he's so cute. Okay.
And you got 2 dogs now.
Now we have 2 dogs, yes. I have no children. No children in the house anymore. I wanted 8 kids, okay, when I met my husband. He let me have 1. So maybe I'll get 8 dogs, I thought. Okay, so I just have the spoonful of, it's super sticky. You can't do this with your hands, okay?
What if you put a lot of oil on your hands?
I wouldn't even try that, because it's that sticky. But once you put it into the powdered sugar, then you're good. You're golden. So you just...
And there's absolutely no end to ideas of Christmas cookies. Some of them are very elaborate.
Yeah, I'm not doing elaborate this year. So I'm going to do this and another cookie recipe.
But you could dress this one up. I got a Martha Stewart Living magazine. You have never seen such fancy cookies in your life.
Martha has a lot of time on her hands.
Still a lot of help.
Okay, so this is all you do. You roll the balls, the balls of dough into the powdered sugar. You put them on the pan. You bake it at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes, and then look at the loveliness that comes out.
Yes, and
they're so delicious.
What I noticed, they a little bit cakey. I like that myself. But if you want them a little crisper, just leave them in there longer.
For another minute or 2, sure. Not too long. You don't want to burn the bottoms. But they're get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea.
Oh, my.
I could eat 10 of those this morning. I had to walk away.
My viewers know that with me, anything lemon
Anything
is fine.
lemon, yes.
Oh.
So delicious, super easy. Take them to a cooking exchange. Everyone will want the recipe.
And you can see that those crinkly kind that you can spend a lot of time trying to make them. All right, if you want this recipe, the information is coming up on your screen as to how you can get them. And take a look at that, and we'll be glad to get them out to you. I think that's a good one to have in your recipe library. Stay with me. If you haven't met the Kents, you're going to love them.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
More than any other season, Christmas awakens those wonderful memories of home and family. For that reason, Homekeepers offers a unique book that is sure to become a part of your family traditions for years to come. Our family Christmas devotional is filled with carols, scriptures, and activities, all designed to remind your family of the true reason for this magnificent season. This beautiful book is yours for a gift of at least $20 for Homekeepers. You may request your copy by calling 1-800-229-0059 or by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Our family Christmas devotional will make wonderful gifts for both family members and friends. Supplies are limited, so place your order now.
All right, I'm so glad to welcome back Jean and Carol Kent, and take a look at them. Don't they look gorgeous today? And I just got to do a girl thing here.
All right.
I love your haircut.
Hey. Thank you. I felt like I needed a little bit of a spruce up.
Oh, you
You
look
inspire
wonderful.
me, Arthelene. You always look so stunning that I thought I need to spark up a little bit.
You've done it, girl.
Oh.
And I thank you for coming on such short notice.
Well, what a privilege it is. And I think at Christmas time, when our hearts are turned to so many people who don't have a whole lot of joy in their life at this time of year, that it's really important for us to talk about today's subject.
You guys kind of amaze me. You're such a great team, and that's inspiring.
I know how to do the dishes and the laundry and all the things necessary.
I maybe I've noticed more, but boy, mothers ought to teach boys
Yes.
a few things.
Yes.
I didn't teach my son anything.
That's
you know,
true.
this is a man. This is a woman.
I bet that's.
But it's a good thing. If they're ever by
That's
themselves, they need
true.
to know how to cook something.
Very true.
I remember one time, though, that we talked about your first Christmas. A lot of you, most of you probably know the story that the Kents have a son in prison for life, and always been a wonderful Christian family from way back. I mean, there's a legacy there, and he was following the Lord, and it's one of those situations that Satan knows
Yes.
which buttons to push
Absolutely.
and all that. And I recommend that you look up Carol's book, When I Lay My Isaac Down. Carol is a prolific writer, and she really sells a lot of books. Great writer, and we've offered some of them here. When I Lay My Isaac Down is the story. And we have Carol and Jean on every month because we want to minister to those in prison, but also to those families. And we've been doing this for several months, many months, and been a good feedback. I was talking to my son about it. I said, it's one thing, it's pulled back that kind of curtain of shame
Yes.
on the families. They'll
So
talk
many
about it.
people are embarrassed to talk about a loved one who's incarcerated, feeling that people might look down on them. And I have discovered again and again, as Jean and I tell our story, it opens up the floodgates so that people tell their stories. And I think we care about each other, we pray for one another, and we give hope to each other. And that's important.
Can you imagine the cleansing it is just to pull the cork on
Yes.
all that is just bottled up? Okay, I want you both to describe the first Christmas that you went to prison, because looking at these people, they're lovely people, and I bet you do Christmas well. I bet you decorate.
Yes, we do.
Yes, and just
And we
embrace
fix the
season.
big meal for a Christmas meal, and the turkey and dressing, and
Do it really big,
all
and
of that.
then Jason is in prison. Can you describe the first time you spent Christmas in a prison?
Well, I'll start
Go ahead.
here, Arthelene, because we went through those 2.5 years and 7 postponements of his trials. So he was in jail for a while before he actually went to prison where we could touch him in the flesh. And I remember standing in line at the prison, Jean, and I remember thinking, I don't hear any Christmas carols. There are no Christmas wreaths. There was no Christmas tree inside the prison. It
Not
was
one
just
jingle bell.
That
No.
stark reality. And then the knowledge that our lives from this point on would never be the same during the holidays. And I felt this overwhelming sadness. Jean, why don't you share?
Well, and then we see little kids in line standing with their mother because we're going to a men's prison. And they're going in to see their father, and knowing that there's not going to be presents inside. Once in a while, we found out later, once in a while they'll have up a tree, but that first Christmas there wasn't even a tree. There weren't any decorations in there. And those kids, knowing they're going to see their father, who's stuck for 1 year or 20 years, we don't know, for each one of those families. And they all have hopes and dreams. And those kids, have hopes and dreams that they're going to spend more time with their parents, but not in that kind of setting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of barbed wire
Yep.
and
Oh,
gates
that's right.
and
Razor
fences.
wire. And then you hear that cha-ching, that sound when the big double doors close. And it can be overwhelmingly depressing. But
And
once-
it's just like I'm sorry to interrupt, but this last weekend we were at prison visitation. We're, close to Christmas, and there was a little girl standing in line with us who was 3 years old maybe, and she didn't have appropriate dress on, which looked fine and appropriate to us, but I keep lots of black t-shirts in my car. And so Carol, I had already gotten in ahead of Carol, and she ran out to the car and got a black t-shirt. The t-shirt came almost to her heels, her ankles, and she put that over everything, and she got in with the black t-shirt on.
Yeah, explain that a little bit, because you talk about a tiny, minuscule ministry that is so
yes.
important, and that's black t-shirts
Well,
in the trunk of your car.
we-
I didn't know there was a dress code.
Yes, there is a dress code, and women can only wear certain things. They can't have a sleeveless blouse on. They, of course, can't have anything see-through. For the most part, they can't have anything white on because you might be able to see through that. Anyway, we saw lots of people turned away and couldn't get into visitation. So I started bringing my old t-shirts to the prison visitation, and I would just go to the trunk of my car and get them. And then Carol was speaking a few years ago, and a woman heard her and sent us a whole box full of t-shirts. So now we have new t-shirts for all of the people who get
That
turned
is
away.
awesome.
It was precious. We had it tied up like a little bow so that it didn't almost drag on the floor on this little girl. And she got in to spend a wonderful day with her daddy, and we found out that his birthday was the next day. So if they had been turned away, it would have been so sad.
That kind of gives me goosebumps, because with this program we can put a spotlight on it. And I'm going to talk to the audience a minute. We're going to put a website up. And a lot of the viewers already know this, but a prisoner has a little account that can have some money in it. Is it $25 the limit, or is there a limit?
There is a limit, and it is a little larger amount than that. But out of that comes their personal hygiene items and postage stamps and some little comfort items or food items.
And I've given money for this, and I can't tell you how good it feels, to minister to the least of these. This is what we're talking about. And so if you use the website on the screen, or if you want to contact me at Homekeepers, I can let you know as well. But this would be the best. This is what you can do. You can send a gift, a check, and Jason, her son, will choose and distribute who these go to. And so listen to this. If somebody's in there for life, statistics say that after 5 years, no one comes to see them. There's no birthday card, there's no Christmas card, they're completely forgotten. So this is what I want. I would like very much if people could send a few dollars and we can get it in the accounts of the prisoners. And Jason knows them all, and he knows, and I've told Carol more than once. I said I want him to give him the meanest, God-hating prisoner in there and tell him
Show
Jesus
him the
loves
love of
him.
Jesus.
Yeah, right. But I want Jason to say this is from a Christian for
Yes.
Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
You can't take a gift in there. You can't take a cake,
no.
can you? But they have this little account, and any amount of money is
Any
appreciated.
amount. And Jason helps us designate those who are the neediest. And he said, Mom, I don't always pick those who are the nicest guys, just like you
Amen.
wanted
I'm
to
with
give.
you, Jason. Yeah.
You wanted to give to somebody who really was not even a Christ follower, so that they would be exposed
I want
to
them to know
godly
that Jesus
Christian
loves them.
love. And it's such a joy to do this. And I brought in a note from one of the inmates who has received something in the past. I want to thank you for processing my Christmas package. I've known your son for years and delight in talking to him. Thank you for showing God to me. Have a wonder-filled Christmas. These men appreciate it so much. And then, Arthelene, one of your other regular viewers wrote to us. His name is Larry. He said, Dear Jean and Carol, I've watched you several times on Homekeepers and would be honored to sow into your ministry. Please accept this offering to continue the awesome work you're providing. And I just want to say to Larry and everybody else out there who has cared and has given in the past, thank you. We are so grateful that you have poured into the lives of these inmates and that we get to show them God's love. And in turn, we get to sow into the lives of the inmates' families.
And Arthelene, for those people out there, I want you to know if you don't have discretionary money right now, we just got a letter 2 days ago from an inmate from Texas. And I know your program gets all across the country, around the world. But this was an inmate who's 57 years old. He's been in prison since 1988. Oof. And he has outlived his parents have both passed away. All of the relatives, he doesn't get visits. He was saying he hasn't had a visit in like 15 years. And he says, all I want is to have a friendship with somebody, just somebody on the outside who he can share life with. And he said, you know, I don't care who it is. I just like somebody that I could write to and who would write me back. And there's just so many needy men out there. It is.
It was heartbreaking.
And Jesus, these are his words.
Yes.
He said, I was in prison and you didn't come.
Yes.
And we could do that. It doesn't cost any money, just a stamp and a piece of paper and just write a note to an inmate.
Yes, and I'm a giver. I love to give, and I know that it's pays good dividends when you give to the Lord. The Bible says that given it should be given unto you. Why do we have to debate that? We don't need a theological understanding of that. That's what it says. But this is what I like about this. I know there are thousands of you out there who would like to minister to those in prison, and you'll never go there. There'll never be any kind of opportunity. But you can trust these people. They're not going to build a building with the donations. They're not going to buy a vehicle or anything like that. They're going to get the information from their son about prisoners, where he knows them, put it in their account, and they can buy snacks, they can buy toiletries, they can buy things for good hygiene, and more than that, it's going to lift their spirit.
Yes.
So
give them hope.
Please write that down. Yes. Now, there's this is something I asked for you to clarify, because I was watching TV the other day, and President Trump and some of them, they're in the midst of prison reform, which God knows we need it.
Yes.
And so Franklin Graham followed this report and said, talked about the prison in New Orleans and what the gospel, and what his point was, we want more Christians.
Yes.
We want more Christians in the prison. Tell us about that prison in Louisiana.
It's called the Angola prison, and that's where some of the main lifers in Louisiana would be sent. And there was a warden there, a godly Christian warden, Warden Kane, and he invited Christians in to begin a seminary program. And so the New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary went in and did seminary training with inmates with the purpose of creating pastors who are inmates who will then lead churches within prison compounds. And they didn't even have anybody.
There's 5,000 inmates in the Angola prison.
And
That's
they
a good
didn't even
sized
have
church.
people to
Yes,
bury them.
yes.
They would put their remains in a box and bury them out in the back acreage of this prison because families
Nobody
weren't coming
wanted.
to pick up the bodies.
Right.
And now they have Christian services, and they have a horse-drawn wagon where they carry the remains to a graveyard where they are buried with prayer and with blessing and with a wonderful teaching from one of these inmate pastors. And Arthelene, we're so excited that one of the prisons where Jason spent over 15 years, Hardy Correctional in Florida, now has a division of that same seminary teaching 50 seminary inmate students how to become wonderful, godly, Bible-preaching pastors.
And this is an authentic seminary.
Yes,
Yes,
right.
they will get an actual degree, and then the goal is that these men would be sent to other prisons throughout the state to lead inmate pastored churches right in the prisons.
Yeah, now 5,000 prisoners, I'm not saying they're all Christ followers
Right.
at all, but there's kind of a good-sized functioning church in there.
Yes.
Isn't
Oh,
it?
yes. Oh, yes. And we praise God that the Angola prison has set such a wonderful example of what really can be multiplied with prisons all over the country. But we need to pray for those who are in prison leadership who have wisdom and authority to be able to make changes that are going to open the floodgates of these men hearing the gospel and then responding to it and being able to be nurtured by people who have been trained in biblical studies, who will be able to lead them in how to lead a Christ-like life.
We're almost out of time, but it is the gospel that changes people.
Amen.
I don't care if it's Africa, whatever continent, I don't care how ignorant they are, can't read or whatever, it's the gospel that changes it. And I hope you got that website. I hope you'll think of the prisoners when you're doing your Christmas shopping. Boy, I don't know any group that you could just lift their spirits,
Yeah.
just for a while anyway. And I'll never forget interviewing Murph the Surf a couple of times.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a very well-known prisoner. He's out now, but he said what he noticed in prison was the Christians kept coming back in. They kept coming back in to minister. He thought they were nuts at the beginning. But he said they kept coming. He said they could have gone to the beach with their families, but they kept coming. They kept coming. That's what Franklin Graham was talking about. So let's pray that in this prison reform that the Christians are going to have a wide open door. We're out of time. Join me next time, remembering there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.